The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Your book of life will buy you a mile except in my free mind will keep me from under your spell. And when we die, you'll be another angel in heaven. But me, I'll be a fucking legend in hell. Your book of life will buy you a mile except in my free mind.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
And here we are. We are now finally live for another awesome Still Token with powered by the Dorkening Podcast Network. Got an awesome show for you today. Benjamin.
What up, everybody?
Hello, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Well, it's nice to be back.
Yeah.
It's actually great to be back.
Hey, Jeff.
It's awesome to be back, but it's great to be away. I like to be in Maine at my camp.
Which one of you gentlemen would like to do the honors?
Well, I think I'll start by saying welcome everybody that's watching, first of all. New look. We're running on some new platforms as well. We want to welcome Hell Entertainment and Hellfire Radio to our new platforms. Thanks for having us. We have a hell of a show tonight, man. We've got a killer co-host. Diggs from Hell Entertainment is joining us tonight. So thank you for being here, Diggs.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to flip it over to Jeff and let him make the big announcement.
We have a big announcement?
We have a very big announcement.
Well, we have a very special guest, Butta B Rocka. I'm going to let Butta tell a little bit about herself.
That's his way of coughing out. Oh, wow.
Tell us about yourself a little bit. Just introduce yourself. Well, a little bit of the highlights. I totally stuffed.
I got you. Well, my name is Butta B Rocka. I am an international recording artist, an Amazon best-selling author. I'm a playwright. I have a nonprofit. Do a little bit of everything. And thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on. We had you scheduled a few months back, and things happened, and we had to reschedule. So we're glad that we were able to get you to come back and join us tonight. Like Butta just mentioned, she's done everything from being an actress to a composer, a model, a playwright, the founder and CEO of the nonprofit Artists Rock the Mic Foundation. And her credentials of people that she's worked with are just out of this world, completely out of this world.
Mind-boggling.
Yes. You've got people on here like Janet Jackson, Akon, Kanye West, Collective Soul. I mean, right there, I'm in love right there. Just Collective Soul for me. That just brings me back. But we got a whole hour to talk about all this. Diggs, you want to jump in and save me here sometime?
I'm just letting you fumble. For one, that's not me.
Payback.
He fumbles. You should see him at work.
This is true. Or on Sunday nights.
True that. Yeah, true that. So, not only all of that we just mentioned, Butta also has her own promotions department. PR.
Yeah.
So
PR Media Group.
yeah. So those are, I believe, are in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us from.
That and also her latest album, Switch Lanes, is there's an Amazon link in the show notes as well. So
see, this is why we love Leo. Leo does all the research. We kind of just pull out like some show notes and we're like, oh yeah, this works. Script? No, we don't do scripts. Leo's
no script, but I do need to rewrite the show notes.
Yeah. I was like, guys, I know you're driving the train, but you're really not. I am. Just sit back in the passenger seat. I got this. All right, enough about us. Back to the guest. So you guys are gonna just leave me hanging out here all night, aren't you? Both.
Oh, hey, you're on a roll, man.
All right. Well, I'm on a roll. So let's start with your book.
Okay.
So the book is called Fear of Failure, correct?
Yeah. Fear of failure, fear of not trying.
Fear of failure, fear of not trying. And that was a bestseller on Amazon, correct?
Yes, I became an Amazon bestseller within 7 hours of my pre-release.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So I'm going to guess what the book is about. Fear of failure.
It is. It's definitely about fear of failure, and more importantly, it's the fear of not trying. It makes you. I had so much fear of not at least trying that it pushed me to try. So.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people have that. They don't try for that fear of failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I live my life where I'll try anything. I'm not afraid to fail because if I fail, I'm going to learn something.
Exactly.
That's the worst that's going to happen.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get that way. The book was, how like people keep talking to you. I've always wanted to write a book, but and I've been to a lot of different conferences and different things, and people were like, "Oh, you should write a book. You should write a book." But it was this one particular time where the guy said it, and it was like it was the only thing I heard, and I guess it was just meant for it to resonate then, because it was time for me to actually, complete the book or whatever, or start on the book. But the biggest problem was starting. I've always wanted to write a book, but then you have a lot of fear to creep in. What if nobody wants to support the book? What if nobody want to hear anything I got to say? How do I start? There were so many, ifs going on in my head. I felt like I was always the woulda, coulda, shoulda chick, that I almost got the record deal, but I got into a car accident. I was working with all these people, but all these different things happened. So it was like I kept having all this resistance that was happening in my life. And the book is very transparent. I'm really talking about the highs and lows of this music industry. I mean, I've done some amazing things, and then I've done some things that I have definitely failed at. And to put that out there, was definitely scary. I didn't know how to start. So I was over in Hawaii on tour, and there was a big storm, and I was out on a cruise. I was on a cruise ship, and they took us out even farther. So for 4 days, I just sat in my room and just wrote. And I finished the book in the 4 days and came home. And of course I had to, do some editing and different things like that, take some stuff out, add some parts in. But for the most part, in 4 days, that book was done. So.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah. My dad taught me something a long time ago, about the fear of failure. And basically what he said was that when you're thinking about trying to do something that you've never done before, you're always thinking about, oh, well, what if it doesn't work? What if this fails? What if it goes wrong? Add to that, what if it does work?
Right.
What if it is a success? And focus on the opposite positive, which a lot of people just have trouble doing.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the failure and not, I try to flip things around. Well, this could be a good thing.
Yeah.
But if it's not, it'll be okay.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why we're all up here. in live for all of these people. I mean, I'm looking over in the chat right now. We've got people from London, England. We've got people on here chatting from Liverpool. So this is being broadcast worldwide. And if we were afraid to fail, we wouldn't be up here doing this for people.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, my biggest fear right now is making an ass out of myself.
Well, which is what you do all the time, so it works.
Well, I was going to say, they're just camera on, so there you go.
Oh, see, I don't care though.
No,
you know what I mean? Because that's a perception of others.
Exactly. You know, and to touch real quick on the fear of failure. I mean, my biggest thing is if you're having fun doing what you're doing, that's all that really matters. Because whether you fail or whether you succeed, as long as you continue to keep it fun for yourself, then it's already a success.
Right.
Yeah.
When it's not fun, don't do it.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, it's, you know, and as far as like, you know, writing a book, there was somebody that gave some really good advice to me maybe about 6 months ago, you know, because I'm trying to write a book too. And, you know, I've been writing it for years. But the advice was, don't look at it as you're writing a book. All you need to do is write 1 page a day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, you got a book.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't take that long. You know, I don't have the time to write a book. I don't have the time to do this. It's all about time. Write 1 page a day.
All you're going to do is go on a cruise and get trapped in a storm and sit in your room for 4 days.
Right.
See,
I mean,
that works.
4 days.
No, I wish it worked that easy.
Yeah.
But it definitely does not.
I think that that fear is also something you constantly need to work with. You know, no matter how you keep on pushing. You know, like me, I know. You know, I'm constantly in fear of you know falling on my ass. So it's something that definitely sticks with you, and you need to keep on pushing through it.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of the things in the book that I really talk about is, okay, so my story is, you know, back in the day, I had 2 record deals on the table. I'm real good friends with some major recording artists that are Grammy artists right now. And we all grew up at the same time and came up at the same time. And I got into this car accident, which left me drinking from a straw for 6 months. I come back a year later to the table, and of course, those deals are no longer there. So my friends, who we all started on the same, you know, level playing, their careers took off and they became these Grammy Award winning, you know, people. And not that you have to, but I used to do all of this work with them, from demos and, you know, in the studio and doing all this stuff. And all of a sudden now, you know, they're at a different level and they didn't pull me up or take me with them. And so it started to, you know, mess with my mind kind of, and I started having a lot of doubt about myself. Well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not cute enough. The third label that wanted to sign me told me that, you know, I had basically missed the boat because they were they were signing 13 and 14-year-old Britney Spears age, and I'm 18 at this time. And so, you know, it was so many things that crept up in my mind, you know, that really messed with me. And it took me a long time to come back out there as a singer and everything. I got a regular job, got married, had kids, and, you know, started pushing my dreams of singing, you know, to the back burner. And it took me a long time to finally come back out there. And when I finally got to a point where I had to realize you can't let somebody else define who you are. You have to go for it. So
Absolutely.
Once I finally did that, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, you know, don't ever tell me that I can't do something.
Right.
Because when you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to try it. It's just the way that it is. That's just how I view things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know my limitations. I know what I can't do. I mean, that just makes sense. You know what I mean? But you know, trying to move forward and follow a dream, there's always going to be somebody out there who'll be like, "What are you, crazy? You're not going to be able to do that." Well, don't tell me that. All that does is give me motivation.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
No, agree. Agreed 100%. And you know, you're always trying to, you know, I got advice that I've gotten is don't try and be better than the person next to you. Just try and be better than the person that you were a week ago, a day ago.
Absolutely.
And like we've been talking about, fear of failure. It's human nature. It's going to happen no matter what you do in life. So.
Yeah. And I had a problem. I was comparing myself. I was comparing, where other people were, on their status of everything. I'm like, man, I grew up with them. Now they're here and I'm here. And I mean, it was so many things that I was scared of. And I just really had to get over everything. I just had to say, I'm me, and everybody has their own paths. And you can't compare, your path to somebody else's path. And I'm just at a stage now where I'm going for every single thing that I've ever wanted to do. I'm going for it. So when I finally, came back out as an artist, I put my own project out. I didn't have a label behind me, and I started getting all these offers to go overseas and everything. And I'm as a songwriter, you're either with ASCAP, BMI, or Sesac, and I'm with Sesac, and they put me at their big Christmas party, which was major because they had, they have all these Grammy writers and all these big people there, and they put me on that show, and someone saw me, and that show led to another show, which was in front of 5,000 people. And that was my second show. That show led me to go over to Africa and start traveling the world. I have been literally everywhere, all because I finally walked out there and said, you know what, I have to bet on me.
Right.
Right. Well, like they say, when opportunity knocks, open the fucking door.
Yeah.
Here he goes, F-bomb. He lasted 29 minutes, though.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. Yeah, because usually we drop it in the first 3 minutes. It must be because we have a lady on tonight.
Well, no, it was. I like the subject about the fear of failure and all.
Oh yeah,
that,
absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, that's just a very small portion of all the amazing things. There we go. I can talk tonight. Trust me. that Butta has done. I mean, so that's a little bit about her book. I know that's available on Amazon.
Yes.
So if you're interested in it, get on over to Amazon, pick one of those up for yourselves. We keep leaning towards the music career, but I'm going to push that off just a little bit. You also wrote a play.
Yes.
Would you like to touch a little bit about that? I'll let you introduce the name of it. Absolutely.
The play is called I Cheated, So What? And it was an amazing experience for me. I wrote it with I was doing a play. I was doing someone else's play, and I met this director, and we stayed in contact with each other, basically. So one particular day we was talking about lyrics, and I was telling him, I have a really deep song. I write deep songs, lyrics. And I sent him over this song called The Storm, which is the song that I told you guys about. I sent him this song called The Storm, and he was like, that's a play. And I was like, I've always wanted to write a play, but, I don't know how to get started. I don't know the first thing about writing a play, but I am a songwriter. So he offered to write the whole play, which I didn't want him to do the whole play. But once I understood how to, do the format and how to make everything intertwine and how to, cue everybody in, and it makes sense that you're not, layering up on top of each other. Once I was able to understand all of that, he wrote the first half of the play. I wrote the second half, and each act we would go, through it, and I would say, well, this isn't how I would speak, and this is how the guy would speak, and stuff like that. But basically, I Cheated, So What is it's a song. It was about a song I wrote called The Storm. And in The Storm, the first part of the lyrics is, I admit it, I did it, I cheated, so what? And when he called me, he was like, that hits you over the head, especially the so what part of it, because, the lady saying with audacity, I cheated, so what? Like, what you gonna do about it? So the play was really cool. But what happened is, one of my girlfriends, she was in this relationship for over she was in this relationship for over 10 years. They had 3 kids together. The husband kept cheating on her. I mean, he had multiple women. He ended up having a child out of wedlock. And the child was now 4 years old. And on this particular day, the mother, my friend, took her kids to the birthday party. And so she was going inside to say happy birthday to the little girl. And the baby mama didn't want her to be there. And she tells her husband to tell his wife, my friend, to leave. And so, of course, that became super messy and, you know, problems. And they start screaming and she leaves. Well, she leaves and she goes and goes to one of her friends' house. And, you know, she's crying on his shoulder. One thing leads to another. She ends up stopping it. I don't know exactly how far it went, but she says she didn't go all the way. But she goes home, and when the husband comes home, she tells him because she feels guilty. Well, he's I want you out the house. You were this, you were that. You know, right. I don't want nothing else to do. And he left and stopped speaking to her for a while. Sent her divorce papers. I mean, pissed, livid. And so now she's crying on my shoulders, and I'm looking at her like, what? You know, because it just didn't make any sense to me.
Right,
you know, You've been cheating. I'm helping raise this other kid's baby. And, you know, it's just a lot of stuff. And so it's a double standard, you know, to the whole cheating thing. Like the guy didn't care. You know, I guess he, as he put it, the woman that he had a baby by, she didn't mean anything to him. He wasn't emotionally attached to her. It was just sex. Whereas he felt that when she cheated or when she was about to cheat, it meant that she was emotionally detached from their relationship, and he couldn't stand, he couldn't stand that. And so, you know, I wrote the song. I first wrote the song called The Storm, and that turned into the play called I Cheated, So What? And the place that we did it at, it had 1,000 people. It could hold 1,000 people. I had 775 people come. I had 6 national recording artists. That was in my first play. And the real cool part was hearing my name not only as the actress, but also as a first-time playwright. So, and it was on national radio, and they had a big, thing at the radio station where they could have lunch with us, and they asked us all these questions, and we did 2 different radio shows. So it was really cool because, I mean, it was a whole different side, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at the other. Everybody else is speechless.
Yeah.
If I said that, I'd get hit in the head with a frying pan. Like for real. So Leo, before we go into the next part, do you want to run the commercial ads real quick?
We can do that
before we forget to do it again.
Oh yeah, totally. So, you know, more now than ever, we need to support local businesses, local artists. And one of those actually happens to be a sponsor of ours, Deadly Grounds Coffee. They're in Norwalk, Connecticut. Makes, you know, just, you know, a little mom and pop, you know, coffee beanery type of installation. And they ship, you know, just... You know what? Here's a zombie talking about I'm dumbfounded right now. I mean, I'm 45, and you know, it's just
it's okay.
What you've accomplished is just amazing.
Thank you.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds Coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds Coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
What's up, everybody? I'm Diggs.
And I'm Ashley, and we're from Hell Entertainment.
Join us for Sinner Sundays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
on Hellfire Radio.
And for more information on those, check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And for Deadly Grounds Coffee, if you're looking for a good flavor to start with, Death by Chocolate is my absolute favorite. Witch's Brew is also really good, chocolate raspberry. Oh
Right.
So good, so good.
So, yeah. Now, we didn't forget to run those, and nobody can yell at us.
Yep.
So, we've touched on a little bit. And I feel like I'm just like doing all the talking here tonight. I have these two amazing co-hosts, and they're both like in the corner.
Hey,
right
I
now.
don't think so.
I'm learning from the master. I'm taking notes on you, Ben, of how I can run my show.
You know?
Well, you should be watching Leo then, not me. Dude, I'm a train wreck. Are you kidding me? Yeah, if I hit the button, I lose everything. It's gone.
So maybe before we touch more on your music career, would you like to introduce everybody to the music video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this Promised Land?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wrote this song right before COVID happened. Let me go back. I'm going to do a backstory. I sung for the Prime Minister of Bahamas last year. Well, I sung for the Prime Minister of Bahamas, and the lady that hired me called me. They were going over to Africa to do this big unity of these 4 different kingdoms. All these kings were coming together, and they wanted me to perform. So I wrote this song called Promised Land, and in the video, I wanted to show that not only, it was about Africa, of course, but I wanted to show that all people are royalty. So I had different genres and different ethnics and everything, come in to the video. So the song is called Promised Land.
Awesome.
We've been given a second chance. Yeah, now we stand. Destination promised land. Enemies across the land, we've been given a second chance. United, we stand. Destination promised land. Destination promised land. Just believe. Hold your head high with dignity. You are destined for great things. Just believe.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
I think Wendy said it best during it. All I can say is, wow, the song and video is amazing.
I got chills.
Thank
I
you so much.
literally got chills during that song. That's I've watched it before. I'm not gonna lie, I've watched it a couple of times leading up to the show, you know, so that we could touch on different things. But every time I watch it, I really do. You can feel the passion in your voice.
No, it's really cool. I've got a really odd question.
What you got?
Well, I noticed that there was a young woman in the video wearing the same earrings as you are right now. Is there a connection there?
No.
No? It's just one of those weird things that just kind of happened?
No, actually, I mean, these are my earrings, and I mean, she had them in the show. I mean, in the video, but there's no connection.
Okay. Just
He picks up on very small details like that, and that's like one of the perks when we write our comic books. He picks up on the small details. It's like, oh yeah, like now I'll go back and watch it. And everybody watching is gonna go back and watch that just to be like, there they are.
Yeah.
Just a curiosity question.
And you can find Butta's YouTube page in the show notes down below or up above if you want to watch that again. Also, Angelina in the chat room says, beautiful song. I'm going to have to look for your album. That link is also in the show notes as well. So you can.
Thank you very much.
I also did notice before we go too much further. I noticed. Yes, there you go. I noticed a couple questions pop up. Are you able to see the questions when you put them on the screen?
Yep. Who has been your most inspirational figure you've met? I would say, are we talking music-wise, or are we just saying in general? But if it's in general, it would be Les Brown, who's a motivational speaker. He's been the most inspirational to me. Music-wise, it would be, who would it be musically?
She's like, I better choose this carefully. They might see this later on.
There's this lady named Deborah Killings. So I would do all of TLC's demos in the studio, and then she would do the albums. But I was 18, and I'm getting checks for $1,500, $2,000. So I'm thinking I'm doing it up. But it was her voice actually that got put on the album, but I got to be in the studio working on the demos. But she's always been inspiring to me. She plays the bass. She's a singer. She's a songwriter. And she's always been a young lady that I've looked up to.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, which touches on all the amazing people that you've worked with, because I neglected to say TLC, Zach Brown, and we could fill up the whole show talking about all these amazing people that you've had a chance to work with.
Yeah, it's definitely been a blessing.
Excellent. Yeah, I just totally spaced out. Like my brain went back into that vortex back there for a second, and I'm just kind of lost for a second there.
So go ahead, Diggs.
Oh, I was gonna ask Butta, when before you started to get into the music, what did you start out as, like a poetry? Did you start right out into writing music? How did you get started, and what was your inspiration for getting started?
Well, I started singing when I was, my mom said I came out the womb singing, but I started singing and doing talent shows when I was 4. I started taking it serious, learning to write songs and different things like that when I was 13. And by the time I was 15, I was doing a couple of tours and stuff like that. It was so for my prom, I didn't go to prom. It was go to prom or go to Miami and open up for Queen Latifah. It was like, it wasn't a comparison for me. But sometimes now that I'm older and, now that I have kids of my own, I'm like, man, I really miss, those moments because I was so focused on music. If you wasn't talking music, especially when I was in high school, you wasn't talking music, we had nothing in common, nothing. So horrible.
You can always recreate prom, but you cannot recreate opening for Queen Latifah.
I said.
I'm sorry.
That's what I said.
I think just about anybody watching right now or listening to this later on the podcast will agree.
I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's that once in a lifetime an opportunity you don't want to pass up.
Yeah.
No, you never pass those up. Never. No.
And I'm never going to forget that one anyway, because we went to the beach afterwards, and I fell. We was on the jet skis, and I fell in the water, and I got stung by a jellyfish. So it was horrible until her bodyguards came out there to rescue me. So then I really put on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to forget that.
Oh, that's great. Jeff, are you taking notes by any chance?
Notes?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
All right. Well, good. No, because the question that Diggs asked, that was a very good question to ask during a show.
Yeah.
just saying.
What are you saying?
Jeff needs to use 101.
I'm just busting on you.
I'm going to see you tomorrow, right?
No.
Yes, you will. Because I'll have my big stick.
Great. I'm already injured.
Well, no, because I don't do a lot of research, but I was curious as to how many albums or singles and stuff that you have out that it's currently available right now.
I have one full album, and then I have 4 additional singles that's out.
Okay, cool. See, Ben, that was a good fucking question too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There it was. Bravo. Let's all give Jeff a round of applause for that one.
Did you send those questions in a private chat?
Here, ask this one. Asshole.
My wife just piped in the chat. She said she'll put on a prom for you.
That would be perfect. And then the worst part is, okay, so, this year my son graduates and he didn't get to go to prom. And I'm like,
then there might be some very big things in his future.
Yeah.
Bigger than that he's already accomplished, from what I understand.
Definitely.
We won't get into that, but look at our schedule for upcoming shows. You will get a chance to meet both of her amazing sons who started their own magazine company, correct?
Correct. Defiant Ones Teen Magazine.
Defiant Ones Teen Magazine. We're going to have to keep that one rated PG-13, Jeff.
Huh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No go.
All right. Well, I should be able to handle that.
Sorry.
Hi, Julie.
Yeah, stuff popped up on the side over here.
So, Butta, what is one piece of advice, or it could be just a couple pieces of advice, you would give to somebody just trying to start out in the music business?
Another good question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I would say the first thing is to hone in on your craft and and then start getting out there. You have to network. You have to let people hear you. So before you let people hear you, make sure that you really do know songs and you're up to par. And then go out there and start doing these open mics and everything and start meeting people. I have made more connections and gotten on more shows off of the people that I've met. And you never know who's going to be in that crowd. So it doesn't matter if there's only one person there or if there are thousands of people there. You sing your heart out or play your heart out. Whatever your talent is, make sure that you give it 100% when you get out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
I
think
agree
that,
100%.
Yeah, and that's true for a lot of things. I mean, with what me and Ben we're trying, what we're trying to do with the comic book and everything, it's you got to get your face out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to go meet people. You've got to network. You know what I mean? You're trying to find that 1 in 10,000 people that can help move you forward.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like Leo.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Yeah, just like Leo.
Right. So yeah.
And now, wait a minute, wait.
There.
Well, it's not just Leo. Now it's not Leo, but we also have people like Diggs and A Grace from Hell Entertainment stepping in, becoming part of a team to push people forward. Hellfire Radio picking us up, letting us run live. And it's those little things, like you said, it's the networking, and anybody that's watched any of our past shows, we always touch on networking somehow during the show with our guests.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is a key right there.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people that say, well, they got lucky. They were in the right place at the right time. No, they didn't get lucky. They were in the right place at the right time because they go out and they're in as many places as they possibly can be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And something will eventually click.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even if you say like you can't make all of the open mics and you can't make every event, of course, but you still get those connections and make sure you follow up. And people know if you're just following up just so you can get put on, or if you're genuinely trying to make a connection with them.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time you call, don't automatically start talking just straight music or whatever it is and try to get, on a project. Genuinely see how that person is and, get to know that person and everything. And you'll be surprised because, one day they're at a different event or they're working on a project and your name pops up in their mind and they're like, let me call such and such because that relationship.
Right. Form that relationship. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Well, absolutely. I mean, for us, I own Hell Entertainment, where I have a team of photographers. I'm a photographer. We're out at every show possible we can get to mingle, to get our name out there, to talk to everybody from merch booth workers, the acts, the behind the scenes people. So it's all about who you talk with, because to your point, you never know when your name's going to pop up with so and so.
And hopefully it's good.
Well, exactly.
Right.
And but I did have a question I wanted to ask, kind of tailoring it back to your book, but also to the music world of the fear to fail. What was a time you talked about opening for Queen Latifah in Miami during prom season? That's incredible. What was a time that maybe you failed during your music career that helped you push it harder, and how did you overcome that fear?
I think the biggest fail for me was when, like, literally I was headed to my attorney's office and I got into my car accident, and I had to have immediate surgery. They did the surgery through my mouth, stitches, drinking from a straw, 6 months. And that, when I went back to a year later, once I got the confidence, because, having stitches in your mouth, you start to think that you can't sing, of course. And it was Akon that was over at my house, and he was like, man, you got to get back out there. And I'm like, I don't think I can sing anymore because it just felt weird in my mouth. And so I go back to the same labels, and now they shut the doors. Sony had revamped, and Warner Brothers had just signed a young lady that was like 14 years old. And then I went to Allen Records, and they basically told me that I missed the boat. And I'm like, I'm 18 years old. I missed the boat. So it really messed with my mind, and I completely thought I was a failure for years. I mean, for years, to the point where I just started doing backgrounds and thought that that's just where I was just supposed to be. Well, my life, I'm just gonna be a background singer, and nothing's wrong with being a background singer, but that's not just where I wanted to be. I've had so many more things I wanted to do, and so I had to get up. I really had to get up and just start believing in myself again.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm glad that you did.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you did. I mean, you've got a ton of songs on YouTube that people can go check out, and performances. So we encourage everybody watching, listening later on to definitely check out more of Butta's stuff. Definitely. And you're gonna be amazed. You'll be amazed, because I was. Like I said, I do a little bit of research, but I like to watch. So I'm on YouTube, and I'm like, oh. Wow, dude, we got to have her on the show.
Yeah, and I think I went and I looked at a couple, and I was like, oh, well, that's a little weird. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he probably did.
I can tell that Jeff is that one. Jeff is like, I don't really want her on the show. I'm just playing Jeff.
Yeah, no.
No, Jeff's the one that's going, really? I got to be on the fucking show again tonight? Really? You need me there? Really? And I'm like, yeah, you're the other half of this gruesome twosome.
Well, gruesome's the right word.
Oh, wait. Hold on. You can't see that.
No, I could. Yeah. Yes.
I thought I saw another question pop by in the comments.
Okay. Christina is asking, what's the most memorable place you've gotten to see?
I think the place that's always going to be the most near and dear and memorable to me is Ethiopia. When I went to Addis Ababa in Africa, it was absolutely amazing. Okay, it was absolutely beautiful. But then you see donkeys walking in the middle of the street, and you see people with goats on the side, and they're walking with chickens, and one house looks like a mansion. You got like 3 houses. There's probably like a $300,000 or a $500,000 house here, but over there it looks like a mansion next to 3 mud homes. And it was like, this is absolutely mind blowing to see to see all of it mixed in one, like that. So that was very memorable to me. And I toured over there for 6 months. So it was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky if I can go somewhere for 6 hours.
Well, I was there for 3 months, and then I came back home for 6 months, and then I went back for another 3 months. So
wow.
A total of 6 months. But it was amazing. Another thing that was kind of cool is, and I hope I get this right. So it's like 2020 here, but it's like 7 years difference there behind our time. It was weird because I was like, so does that mean I'm technically younger? Like, it was like crazy.
The true fountain of youth.
Yeah, it was different. So in some parts of Africa, it was a whole totally different year that they, celebrated. But then in the areas that were more touristy, of course, they had it being, whatever year it was. So it was weird. That was crazy. I was like, what? So it's not 2019? It's not? Huh.
Wow, that's so time travel.
Yeah, it was kind of. Yeah.
Wow.
Where's somewhere that you want to go tour that you haven't toured yet?
I haven't been to. I was headed to Qatar, and of 2018, and I ended up falling in rehearsal, and I ended up having a torn meniscus, torn ACL, and I dislocated my shoulder. So I didn't get to go, and I really wanted to go there.
Now, do you find it difficult to be away from home for such long stretches?
Yes, the longest stretch was 3 months. I'm typically gone for a week or two. I don't really like going too long. I have kids, And at the time, I was married as well. So I didn't want to be gone that long, and my kids were younger. But now that they're older, they're now 17 and 18. Yeah, I'm about to start touring a whole lot more and gone a little bit longer now.
Right.
Okay.
I hear that. I mean, my baby's 19, so it's like, yep, me time.
Right.
Yeah.
What's
I mean,
that?
I
got a 4-month-old. There's no me time.
yeah.
Oh
You
no,
know, I mean, I just look at being home as like that's my foundation.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? That's my core. So, to be gone and out on the road for 2, 3, 4 months at a time, I personally would find that very difficult. I'd have to pop back every couple of weeks for a few days and then go back. That would be
Yeah. It was real cool. Like I said, typically the longest I'm out is 2 months, but when I did do my 2 stretches of 3 months, it was long. It felt long. It was beautiful and everything, but I was absolutely ready to get home. There's no place like home, So I think that if I wasn't just there, because I was only in Ethiopia for those 3 months, like if I had been, if I was going to different places, I think it would have went by quicker. But it felt like if the time went slower because I was there specifically at that location. My touring. When I go out the 2 weeks, I'm going to different places, so I come back really quick.
Right.
There's a couple nights here, a couple nights there, different cities. You're moving around. Yeah. That would be quite a bit different, I think.
Yeah. See, we don't get that luxury, Jeff. It's like we go away for 3 or 4 days. We're in the same place.
No, we come home.
Yeah, then it's enough.
Well, let's get time with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's totally enough.
Well, there's your problem.
Right.
So,
see.
I'm sensing the honeymoon is over.
Just real quick before we go too far or too much further, I'm watching the live feed on a separate device over here, so I'm able to see people that are popping in, just watching it and not commenting. And we were just lucky enough to have next week's guest pop in, and he's watching right now. So we're looking forward to a chat with him next week. We'll announce that later tonight.
Nice. Speaking of later tonight, well, actually, right now.
That's why I brought it. See how I did that? It's a smooth transition.
So we had a contest going for the last 2 weeks while you're gone, and this is awesome. All the contests are awesome, but this one here is the first 3 issues of the Token Dead comic, along with a couple shirts.
And don't forget the bonus mask.
Yeah, the mask.
I like your mask.
Thank you. I will mail you one. Right? Send me your address and an email. I'll mail you one.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. It's nice.
So the cool thing is we, you guys are running contests quite often, and there's a link in the show notes. But this contest actually just ended, and we're going to be having a new one start tonight. And tonight's winner, I'm not going to give the full email address, but it's Manda Marie, and I'll send that information over to you, Ben.
Okay.
And that's the lucky winner of the Token Dead comics and the shirts and the mask.
Congratulations.
Right. Yeah.
And the next contest, I believe I have an image.
And this is indie for you, Butta.
Yeah. Nice.
This is the cameo set where Ben and Jeff have a cameo in both movies, and along with the mask.
Yes.
Yep. And that was written and produced by Robbie Lopez.
Yep. And Crude Cinema.
Yep. Out of Kansas City.
Yes. Out of Kansas City.
Yes.
He's working on multiple other projects right now. He was one of our past guests. He just released Head Cheese with Richie Ramone. So that was pretty cool in the music industry. So, but yeah, that's enough about us. We're not here about that.
Yeah.
But that's the next giveaway anyway.
Yes.
So, do your thing, enter the contest, because I look really good on the screen.
Yeah.
Must be a widescreen.
When you see the cameo, you'll understand. You'll totally understand. It's great.
And if you want to be informed on the contest, make sure you're following the Token Dead guys, and you guys will be posting a link. We'll post it on the Dorkening as well.
Yep.
Julie had a question. Want to know, Butta, did you use cannabis or hemp to help you recover from your injury?
I tried to use some oral cannabis. I don't know if it really helped me. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think it really helped me that much, but I did try it. It might not have been the right one. I don't.
Yeah, and that's something that we get to learn a lot about in the cannabis industry. It's all proper dosage and proper strains.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
The right way to take it.
Yeah.
For medicinal aspects.
Yeah.
Recreational. Well, that's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story.
That's just a whole. Yeah. That's stuck on. Well,
even the recreational, even the recreational is medicinal as well.
Well, yeah, but to some degree, you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
So.
Yeah,
you don't feel the
I
medicinal.
did the dropper, underneath my tongue. That was okay, and then I did the topical one that you put on my knee. I can't really say I really felt a difference or anything. Maybe I was mellow. I don't know. It was just I don't know. I don't know if I had the right one.
Yeah, it's I mean, I use it every day, so.
Yeah.
Every single day. And I went
use the
through,
CBD tincture.
I went through a bunch of different products before I found what I liked and what actually works for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm told that you definitely have to try, because there's different brands, there's different, everything. So you just got to find the kind that works for you. And I don't think the kind that I had, I don't think it did it.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get for questions on this show.
I see.
That's why we before we even go on the air, we always ask, is there anything that you don't want to touch on? Because if somebody pops in the chat,
no, I'm an open book, so it's all good.
No, that's good. It's good.
I just love how her name has that New England slang, Butta.
well, she does have one plus. She is from the East Coast, but that's all we're going to tell you.
So, Butta, with COVID happening and everything, you find yourself writing to get something out there, some more music coming. What's it like been for? What's it been like for you during all this craziness?
Yeah. Okay. So COVID has turned on a whole other beast. When I injured my knee, I had just graduated from college, and so I started my own PR firm. And since COVID, I've been working the PR firm, and me along with two of my clients have their own podcast now. So that started since COVID. Of course, I've been writing more songs, and I'm also writing a TV show. So,
wow,
excellent.
Yeah.
We'll have to stay in touch behind the scenes. I definitely I want to know when that drops.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm actually
that'd be cool.
Getting ready to start putting out the flyers to hold auditions and everything. So I'm really excited about it because
Nice.
it's something to really see your work, go from pen to pad to on stage to, and
Right.
when I saw what happened with the play, I'm like, yeah, I want more of this. So to take it to a bigger screen, I'm really excited about it.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Excellent. So go ahead, Leo.
Where are you looking to release?
Actually, I'm looking to release it on Netflix.
Nice.
I already had written one reality show, and Netflix was interested in it, and but they wanted me to make a couple of changes and everything. And unfortunately, my videographer passed right before I did Promised Land, so I had to have a different videographer shoot that video. And of course, he had all of the footage. So they wanted us to do, some retakes and then use some of the extra footage that we already had. And I don't have any of it now. So that project is kind of dead right now. But I still have that connection. So when I shoot this one, of course, I'm going to send it over to them, as well as Amazon and a couple other places.
We've been talking. So on one of our other shows, we talked to a lot of indie artists. And surprisingly enough, we've been hearing a lot of good stuff about Tubi.
I should look into that too.
Yeah, I love Tubi. I watch Tubi almost every day.
I watched TV, but I thought it was old school shows.
Well, it seems like the entry. I mean, it's not free like Amazon.
Right.
I think one person we talked to, they mentioned like $400 to have their indie movie submitted. But the ad rate is a lot better. Like Amazon, Amazon pays like pennies on like the minute, or like fractions of a penny on the minute.
Right.
So it seems like the ad rate that Tubi pays out is a lot better than Amazon right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I probably need to be talking to you guys anyway, because I still haven't. I'm still trying to work on my cover for my actual movie. Well, TV.
Okay.
Absolutely. You did mention, you touched on your PR firm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's touch on that a little bit. We're getting close to the end of the show, so I want you to be able to promote yourself as a PR firm and potentially promote some of the people that you represent as well.
Definitely. So I have my PR firm is called O. Robinson PR Media Group, and I represent a lot of amazing people. Two of them are very near and dear to me. One being my fiance. His company is called Your Best Lifestyles, and his name is Terrence Hutchinson. Outside of me, being engaged to him and everything, his business alone is just amazing, and his story and his background, going from being a diabetic to reversing his diabetes and everything, and all of the things that he's done. He's a beast, and you'll be having him on the show soon. Also,
next week.
Yep, next week. Also, my boys, Decory and Christian Robinson, they have their own teen magazine called Defiant Ones Teen Magazine. Listen, we have NFL players contacting them now to be a part of this magazine. We just got contacted from the Miami Dolphins, from one of the players there that wants to be a part of the magazine, that's heard a lot about it. We have Disney stars that are on the front covers that's been contacting us, American Idol people, and the magazine highlights teenagers and young adults from age 13 to age 26 that are entrepreneurs, doing a lot of major things. But one of the cool things is the magazine also touches on health and wellness of teens, mental health, sex trafficking, bullying, school. They really talk about a lot of stuff. They talk about financial literacy and different things like that. I also represent a supermodel who's been doing a lot of big things, and she's actually just got cast for a TV show that's about to come out. And I was working with this Nigerian track star that was going over to the Olympics. But of course, they've canceled the Olympics right now. So we're going to pick back up a little later on when she starts getting ready to train for our next big project and stuff like that. So I got a couple of people, that I'm working with. I'm also working with a lady that just signed on, that she wants me to shop her project. She's has her own podcast and some additional stuff, and she wants me to do some shopping for her and stuff like that. So I got a couple of things under my belt.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
You see how I did that, right, Leo?
Yeah.
See, we just announced next week's show for you folks. As Butta said, Terrence Hutchinson. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep, you did.
We'll be coming on next week. Health and wellness. He's a motivational speaker. He's got a podcast.
He has his own book.
He's got multiple books.
Yeah.
He's got two right now. I believe he's got two cookbooks, like a cookbook and a dessert book.
Right.
And he is getting ready to release his third book called Fuck Diabetes.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that one to drop. My 21-year-old daughter is type 1 juvenile diabetes.
Gotcha.
So she's waiting for this episode next week because she wants to really watch it about the whole eating proper and things like that. So
yeah.
We're blessed to be able to have him coming on next week.
Yeah,
that'll be informative.
Very.
Yeah, he's very informative and easy on the eyes. I mean, y'all don't care about that, but for the ladies.
Oh, yes, we do. Look at Leo.
Other side.
Very easy on the eyes, but most importantly, he's very informative and he has some great things to say to your guests. So you're really going to enjoy that show.
Yeah, I was just corrected by my daughter. She's like, I'm 22 now. And I'm like, okay. Sorry.
How do you get that wrong?
Dude, come on.
Hey, he can't count past 1, remember?
And I just got yelled at from upstairs, too. My wife's like, 22! Sorry. I'll sleep on the couch tonight.
Wow.
I'll just leave that on the screen for a little bit.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. And, of course, the wife pipes in underneath.
And then, then the wife says she's 22.
Yeah. Hey, it's all... I remembered that she graduated from college this year. What else do you people want? I mean, there's 6 of them.
So, Butta, tell us a little bit about the nonprofit for the music.
Yes, I have a nonprofit called Artists Rock the Mic, and I throw concerts for college homeless students. What happened is a couple years ago, I was approached after leaving one of my shows by a lady that was asking for some money. And she starts telling me her story, tells me that she goes to this school called Kennesaw State University, and she's an all-honor student. And come to find out, she has a scholarship. And what happens is it covers them academically and for their sports, but it doesn't cover their room and board or food or anything like that. So although she is covered school-wise, she had no place to stay. And so she was couch hopping, going from dorm to dorm, and she was sleeping in her car at different times. And she would use the the college gym to take her showers and stuff like that. And she was eating out of the dumpster of the cafeteria. And they ended up putting a lock on the cafeteria dumpster and had a bag of food and was telling her, please stop eating out of here because you can get really sick. And they gave her a number to call. And so she ended up going there and they started helping her. But when I found out about this, it was like, why can't I use my platform that I have? I'm already doing shows, and when I go to open mics, at open mic, you're not getting paid. So it was like, I'm doing all these concerts, let me call some of my other friends and get them involved. So I started throwing these different concerts and involving from independent artists to national recording artists who are my friends. And I would have them come in, they sing a couple of songs. We would, at the door, collect various items. So it, from blankets to coats to shoes to canned goods, different things. Gas cards, different things. And we would give them the money I would give the school the money from the door, and we would also give them the items that we collected from all of the guests that came.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
That's absolutely, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's a true paying it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, because as an artist, to be very honest with you, sometimes you're one paycheck away. Like, don't let them, I do music full time. Don't let, a show get canceled. For instance, I was telling y'all about, I had a torn meniscus, torn ACL, and I dislocated my shoulder. So all of last year, I did not tour. Well, I did some shows locally, but my overseas stuff, I haven't been overseas since February of last year. And I ended up having the surgery in April. So I had to sit here in Atlanta from April to April. So it was tough. It was real tough. Right. And when this is all that you do and this is how you pay your bills and everything, you really got to figure out some additional hustles very quickly.
Absolutely.
No, that's a great, awesome thing that you're doing right there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We are getting close to the end of time, so I got one question that I want to ask you.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer in that everything happens for a reason.
Definitely.
Now, earlier in the show, we talked about fear of failure and, the car accident and you feeling as though that you missed that star-struck boat, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be in the same position you are now in doing the same things if you actually caught that boat?
I don't.
Okay, so you know what I meant.
Yeah, I don't. I think that my life would be completely different. I think that I probably wasn't mentally ready to take on, everything. It probably would have went so fast that I probably would have, a lot of those teenagers and stuff that start off, quickly, they, hate to say this, but they end up on drugs. They end up, making a lot of bad choices and everything.
Yep.
Because it's so quick. And I think that a lot of things would have happened this way. I've had to. What's so crazy is I've still been able to do almost every single thing that I've wanted to do and more. And I've been places and performed for major people and on major stages. And the only difference is I don't have the label behind me. Which also means I don't have those restrictions behind me either. But I've been able to do. I have national recording artists that call me, my friends. They call me and say, "Can you get me on one of your shows?" And I'm like, "You have a Grammy. You have stuff on the radio. What are you talking about?" It's weird.
You're always welcome to push them on our show. I mean, we don't mind at all. Anytime.
I could definitely do that.
See, I'm not bashful, and that's I'll straight out ask somebody. What's the worst thing that can happen?
I could definitely send you over some people. That's not a problem.
The worst thing that can happen is somebody goes no.
Yeah,
you don't know if you don't ask.
Yeah,
right. I mean, we're all married. We've all heard no.
I still hear it.
Right. I mean, so it's not that bad of a word, folks.
Well, that's that whole thing of don't be afraid.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
And that's you see how we did that? That was a full circle, folks.
Yes,
Yeah.
Just for the slow people paying attention tonight. Jeff. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeff keeps getting on you.
That's what we do.
That's what makes us.
That's exactly what we do.
So, that's a great answer to the question. I figured that's what you were going to say, but I wanted to ask that question.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, I know Leo, you got another show tonight.
I do.
Leo produces and runs how many shows on the network now, brother?
Well, I don't know. I lost count. I'm doing
30 something last time I knew.
Oh yeah, it's about 30 shows on a network. I'm doing 5 shows this week.
Wow.
We're doing a 3-hour show on Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't say who the guest is. I'm a little. It's gonna be scary.
Hope you got a comfy chair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely gotta have.
Don't forget to take your CBD.
Yeah, totally.
And I think you'll switch over to Jack and Coke instead of coffee.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm gonna need it for that show.
I'll have to tune in at about 2.5 hours to see where he's at.
He's gonna be like this.
The 9 o'clock is gonna be the magic hour. That's gonna be the guest. It's I can't say anything.
It's okay. No. I'll just hound you behind the scenes all week. But anyway, Diggs, any last words of wisdom for our amazing guest tonight?
No, it was a pleasure to learn about you, to find out what you do and how you overcame your everything. It was great to connect.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What about you, Grumpy?
You talking to Leo?
No, I said Grumpy.
I'm not grumpy. Why am I grumpy?
I don't know. I just felt like saying it. Hey, you got a haircut. Looks good, by the way.
Yes, I did. I finally went and got one today.
I was going to
say.
Nice
T-shirt you got there.
Yeah, isn't it? Yep. So, some nice, awesome dude gave this to me.
That is dope.
And the answer to that question is you got them all cut.
Right. Any last?
Well, there's some that they didn't get to.
We don't want to know. They got your ears and nose. That's all that we care about, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep the train on the tracks. We've done a very good job tonight.
Yes, we did.
Any last words, wisdom?
No,
insights?
actually, I actually learned a lot, and I love the inspiration, that you project, but I really do. It's positive thoughts. Don't ever be afraid. That's all the stuff that I think a lot of people they fail to see. You know what I mean? I think so many people just get wrapped up in everyday life that following dreams gets left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So I really hope that some of our listeners out there not only got inspired by some of your words, but also got motivated.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, I have to agree with that 100%. I mean, we must have done something right tonight, and your information and everything about you tonight had to have been spot on. We have, like I said, we had people watching from overseas. And in the comments right now, Angelina says, this has been a fantastic show. It's 1:30 a.m., but I couldn't stop watching.
Oh, wow.
So we want to thank you for staying up till 1:30 in the morning to watch us. We love everybody out there. So I'm going to throw this over to Leo for the final goodbyes, I guess you call it.
Yeah, we'll do the rundown. I want to thank everybody for watching, and if you're interested in any information, definitely check out show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, because you can also find this show in podcast format on the Dorkening Podcast Network, where we have about 30 shows on the network, and all that information is down below or up above. You can find it there. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but more importantly, Butta, you're everywhere on social media. Where do you like interacting with your guests the most? What is, some people don't like Twitter. Some people, are devoted to Instagram. Where do you live in social media?
I think my family is more so Facebook.
Facebook.
I try to get down with the Instagram and the Instagram lives. It's too much. But I respond to everybody. I respond to everybody. But yeah, you can definitely get me sooner on Facebook. That's Butta B Rocka.
There we go. And we got that information in the show notes. Diggs, how about you, sir?
We're all over. We tend to do a lot of the Instagram and a lot of Facebook. So you can check out Hell Entertainment, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I think I have a Twitch too. I don't know. I have to ask Ashley about that one.
Sounds like me.
Right, it does. Because Jeff is like, oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm a Facebook person too. I don't do the Instagram. I don't do the Twitter. I don't even know what the hell Twitch is.
That's what you get when you get older.
So the gummies kick in.
The gummies kick in. That's stuff.
Oh no, I took a break after last freaking week up in Maine. Holy shit.
Well, we were in the middle of the woods, man. I mean, family time in the middle of the woods. It's on like Donkey Kong. But, like Jeff said, Facebook, we are on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitch, YouTube. Just Google us. You'll find us. I mean, we're everywhere. We want to thank Butta B Rocka for coming out tonight, joining us, letting us into her life. It was very inspirational, like Jeff said. I hope everybody watching continues to look her up, follow her, share, like, purchase, the whole 9 yards, folks.
Yeah. Speaking of that, real quick, show notes, Amazon for her latest album. Just a reminder.
Yep. So it's in the show notes. Couple more questions, things popped in on the chat. My wife said you're amazing, and she hopes she can meet you someday in person.
I would love to.
Which probably could happen. Her sister actually lives outside of Atlanta.
I'm in Marietta, so.
Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with Georgia, but to me, like, if you live in this side of Mass or that side of Mass, it could take me 3 hours to get there, but it's still easier than the 26 hours that it took me to get down there. So
it can take you 2 hours from Boston to get to Boston.
Yeah. It takes me 2 hours to get out of my driveway. Dude,
this is truth.
That's after I find my keys.
Well, you got to hand crank the truck, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I gotta find my walker.
I have it. It's down cellar. Remember, I had
That's
to borrow
right.
it.
My wife gave it to you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she figured I needed it more than you.
Yeah, boy, was she wrong. Oh, wow. And on that note, I clap my hands. My light thing cover just dropped. So I guess it's time to say goodnight. So, like we say all the time, we want to thank all our veterans and first responders for doing what you guys do every day so people like us can be up here doing what we do every day. We love you, and we'll see you next week. We're out of here.
Peace out.
Bye.
Your book of lies will buy you a mild acceptance. My free mind will keep me from under your spell. And when we die, you'll be another angel in heaven, but me, I'll be a fucking legend in hell.